Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Here we're back for another review of My Hero Academia. So let's get started. Let's hear the intro and let's talk about the magician of the show. Welcome, anime lily fans. How you guys do? LegendDVash as always. SamTheMangaMan, JBXclusive from Careful Spoilers, and the rare file down below is the king of games, RayApollo. We're back here for another My Hero Academia second chapter of 2021. Jump, not Jump Plus, but Jump. And we're here of the second last chapter of the year. Wow, pretty insane. How's everybody doing?
Good, man. This chapter surprised me, and I'll be curious to see what you guys think about this.
We have not spoken with any of us. We each I'm curious that we each have a different opinion about, because I know what Sam thinks already based on the reaction.
I really think we do too.
So who wants to go first? What the first impression of the chapter was? Were you guys disappointed, or was it not as hype as the other 20-something chapters were? How do you guys everybody feel?
I want to hear what you guys have to say first.
Yeah, same.
Oh, what we have to say? Okay.
Yeah.
So Sam, go first, because I know you have thoughts more.
So for me, like this entire arc is all about we're getting high, but we needed to calm down for that low in that like moment to like slow down, calm down for a little bit. Let us give us a low for like another 2 chapters, and then they're gonna start back up the high again, because we know the last thing that they're gonna be doing right now is the whole escape, the League of Villains escaping somehow one way or another. Yeah, like I don't like because when we had nobody talking about it and it had no spoilers from the scans or anything, had me a little worried. Or else, like, there could have been many thoughts about this entire chapter, but for me, it wasn't like I don't know. It was either it didn't pique many people's interest, which I think I am kind of was one of them, but I understand this process. I understand this arc where it needs that whole calm, lower a little bit, but also give us a more character progression of other League of Villains as well. Because we haven't really know more about Mr.Compress. We don't know who his real name is, who his family is, or why technically necessarily why he joined the League of Villains, or with Stain's motto of this injustice and inequality in that sort of way. And this chapter kind of gives us what we needed. His background, his family name, what his family's used to, and something about his great grandfather, which is like a thief, if I'm correct. But yeah, I think it was okay. It wasn't
He's
like
pretty much Robin Hood.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
like it was okay chapter.
For me, I'm on the opposite boat of Sam. I actually enjoyed this chapter because, like, this arc itself, we're getting, with this arc and the previous arc of the whole League of Villains, we're getting story of Bashiraki, the characters Toga, Giga, more of All for One, the backstory of him, of the first predecessor of One for all this stuff. And the League of Villains, if we're gonna see this kind of both similarity between Deku and plus Shigaraki, but also Class 1A, but also the League of Villains. If we're going to know more about each side of each of these characters, their backstories, we need to know more about Compress, Plus Banner, Toga, and Dabi. We're finding out more about Dabi. We find out more about Toga and what she wants to know about what is good and bad, what's heroes and everything, aka about our girl Ochako, and plus Deku. But we don't know much about Compress, like Sam said. So that information was, yes, it came out of the blue, but was also needed to know that he just gave his full kind of devotion for showing of how much he cares about the Legion. Because he said himself, I see all these heroes putting their life on the line for their cause, and also Shigaraki putting his life on the line for his vision, for these heroes, for these type of villains as well, Dabi and the others. He hasn't put his life on the line as well, and that's what kind of he did to show his true ambition, his true love for his type of family. That's how I enjoyed this chapter for that reason. Not as hype as others, Hogs, Miracle, and them, like not those hype moments as those type of double spurs and such, but also showing these other League of Villains backstory was pretty fancy. Because if we're gonna go and follow these characters more on, we kind of needed this.
Yeah, like I quite enjoyed this chapter as well. Like for me, there's no lull, right? For me, I see the first page. I see a picture of the Fallen. Crust's sacrifice saved Aizawa to do everything that he did to hold off Shigaraki as long as they did. That's something super important to me. We also got to see the people that are injured. We see Mirko, we see Aizawa, we see Hawks, like we see Ryuko, we see Mount Lady,
And
Endeavor, everyone that's put all of this work into taking down these villains. And something that Horikoshi does really well is giving backstory to all of these characters, like mr.compress, like learning more about his backstory, learning more about his motivations, his conviction. Like, you heroes are not the only ones who are willing to put life and limb on the line to fight. I am willing to do the same thing for my friends. The hero society is not always correct, and that's what they're fighting for. So to me, that was something that was even more present in this chapter that I absolutely loved. We see Toga in a quick panel. We get to see again, we get to see his grandfather, who is pretty much Robin Hood, who would be seen as a villain, but is he? He's taking from the rich, those heroes that only became heroes for clout, for money. He's taking from them to give to people that don't have anything. Like, for me, this chapter was huge, and I absolutely loved it, and can't wait to see where it goes.
I absolutely agree with most of what y'all said. It's just, and so this chapter for me was the collection chapter. This was like, all right, who in my collection am I going to give people eyes on that they haven't seen in a while? And I really appreciated that. But it also called back to stuff that we saw, like you said, like Crust sacrifice. Rest in peace to my boy Crust. I love Crust. I don't care what nobody says. Crust was lit. That boy's a true hero. But I really appreciate Horikoshi taking the time to be like, okay, no, now I'm going to put your mind at ease so you can focus on some other stuff. It's like, so yeah, here's Mount Lady, here's all these other folks that, you know, you've been wondering if they're okay, and you still don't even know. It's still ambiguous, but I'm going to show you them, which I really appreciate.
But then we've seen people in the mask was Night Eye, and we know what happened to him.
Yeah, so I mean, but this chapter was important because he was like, okay, look, I still have characters that y'all still know very little about that I'm now ready to show you matter to the story still. He's like, I still have Compress and Spinner that I've just been sitting on that I haven't given you anything from. And so just you wait, essentially, is what is happening. But I feel like I'm kind of sad because I wanted more from Compress. And after this, it seems like we might not get much from Compress.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, and then he gives me this, and I'm like, yo, Compress is legitimately interesting and has a very interesting background. Like a lineage of magicians that stole from people. Like, yo, what's that? Now you see me movie is amazing. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so something in that vein would be sick to see. But it's like, okay, I get it. But the one important line in this for me from Compress when he's giving his internal monologue is when he starts to go, the paranormal liberation. He goes, no, the League. Yeah. These are my people. I don't care about that. I care about the League. We're just using the Liberation Front to further our goals, essentially. And he's like, I have to give what I can to make sure that our resolve and motivations are seen as well. He's like, yeah, I see. Like, basically, the heroes inspired him to do what he did.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And it's like, yeah, no, I want to see what we've sought out to do become a reality. Not just my dreams, but Shimura's dreams. I want to see them happen. And I'm like, ooh. And this is good. Like, that means they are willing to do anything to work, like, to help each other, which is good, but also dangerous for the heroes. But like, you're right, their whole thing is to expose Hero Society for what it is and destroy it. And I'm glad, because
it's a society of hypocrites, bro.
Because it's a parallel to the cult of celebrity in real life. So I love it, and I'm really excited to see how they get out of this, because
it's curious.
Shigaraki's still just out, so let's see what happens.
But remember, he said buy him 5 seconds. 5 seconds can go a long way, actually.
But especially in anime.
It's Dragon Ball Z time.
If you see Fire Force, you know that a second can go a long way.
That's it.
Or your Dragon Ball and all the power of this. So then
5 seconds can be like 10 episodes.
Yes. By the way, somebody finally said Bakugo's full name, and it's stupid.
I love it. No, not somebody. Ida said it. Ida
Yeah,
literally
I
said,
know.
"You're
Perfect
in no."
person to say
Exactly.
it
He
to.
was the perfect because nobody else is gonna call him that full
He
name. But
literally
Ida,
said, "You're
Ida
in no
is
state
respectful.
to take a
and
hit
he-
from these things. You great
But
explosion,
the
murder,
best
God,
part, the best
dynamite. You must
part,
retreat."
the
Has to
best
be a
part,
speedster that says
Bakugo responded to it. That's the best part.
He said, "Crap, there ain't no snappy comeback," but he's right.
I was like, God dang it. So
Damn.
I'm just assuming it's just gonna be dynamite for short.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, but I think Horikoshi wrote it out that way so he knows because he knows how ridiculous it is. And I feel like
Of course.
hearing it out loud like that, Bakugo's gonna not care, but everybody's gonna be like, yeah, we're not calling you that ever. So
But I love it how it just says literally "Dine All Might." That's literally still cute to see, like the little homage and everything. But I love how Ida was the one to say it when he's technically the speedster of this world.
yeah.
I would also like to point out how well Ida is holding his own in this entire situation.
Very true.
Yeah.
That is something that thank you for pointing out, because not a lot of people will say that, because a lot of people say Ida has not put in work. He been putting
Ida
work.
is putting
putting a
in
lot of work.
serious work right here.
He's remember the catches, the saves,
But still, that's what I'm saying. Not just that.
Yeah.
He's like not like fighting the noble, but like fending them off and keeping them off people that need to be kept off of. It's impressive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then not just that. Nijire's fighting half burned,
Mhm.
Yep.
bro. Like these kids
That-
are something else.
And
Everyone's
also-
plus ultra right now.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And plus, Miro even said it. Even though these type of no moves are not high ends, even though they're cheap high ends, but he even said it. These moves things are simple, but their speed and toughness are off the charts. So
Yeah.
that's something that also no wonder these other heroes were struggling, because they were simple to fight, but they also were tough enemies to fight. So that's something to also keep noting about. So that's good.
It's good. Like this was. I thought this was a great chapter. I'm like to be honest. So
Yeah.
It was.
From what I researched, Mr. Compress's great grandfather, Oji Harima, he was actually mentioned by Gento Criminal.
yes, he was.
He
He was.
was-
Yeah,
Mm.
he was an inspiration to him.
He was alongside some of the world's most
Oh.
infamous villains,
Yep.
compared to All for One and Destro.
Yep. And what,
So
Interesting.
he was the
villains.
top villains. Yeah.
Villains, yes, and
Or-
and that's why I love villains like Gentle. It's because like they're not villains; they're just seen as bad guys to the
It's
public.
because what
you know?
society, because what public's
Yes.
opinion is what society sees.
Right,
It.
exactly. But no, yeah, I love that callback. I thought that was awesome, and I was like, I'm glad to know they made that connection to Compress. I'm like,
Mhm.
give him basically a route into the universe, and that's it. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, but like I said, now I'm sad because I really like Compress. Like I'll be honest, Compress is one of my favorite members of the league, straight up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
His
so-
powers is very strong. It's incredible.
Yes, he took an
Multi-purpose.
entire chunk out of the side of his body.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
to get out of it, he literally compressed the whole side of his rib or
Ugh.
waist just to get out of it. And
That's
before
like
that
his
happened-
torso, bro.
Yeah.
That's like half his torso, like a chunk out of his torso.
And
Mhm.
and to add to what Ray said of his favorite line, I also like what he said in page 8, saying, "Yo, Spinner, I love the league," and the croak that Spinner made while getting choked at the same time was comedy. Literally, he literally said, "Tomorrow is the key," while screaming.
His face,
That-
Horikoshi, you hilarious, dude.
The eyes coming out.
So
Genius.
It-
so good.
It's like the eyes were coming and everything. Like, I should buy you 5 seconds during which the rules is the boss. Every decent performance requires a good assistant. He remind me, when you're in the circus, I think I forgot. Is it called the Grandmaster, or like the main guy that does the whole thing in the circus?
You mean the ringmaster?
Thank
Yeah.
you. I also forget their name. Yeah.
That's
He
okay. I got
remind
you.
me-
I've been listening to a lot of the Greatest Showman, so yeah, that's why I know.
Which beautiful soundtrack, but he reminded me a bit of the Ringmaster for what he just did, like just to get everybody attention, and for what he did, he had to sacrifice a bit of his torso and everything. That was amazing. Like, that was putting effort. Like, that showed the love for the league for you to go above and beyond for that.
But I mean, and that's what I love about this story. The league isn't just a bunch of bad guys. They're a bunch of people with different motivations and different resolves that also have a goal that is tangible that they want to achieve. Two sides of the same coin, and that's what makes this story continually interesting. The bad guys aren't just bad to be
They
bad.
could all easily be heroes, but the hero society is broken and has failed them.
Exactly.
And that's why they've ended up in this
See that,
position.
and that's what I'm saying. That's the line. Society picked a line that made some of them villains, And so that's all they accept. Those were the only group of people that accepted them. So that's where they are.
Do
Exactly.
you guys think Compress would die? Because I thought he was going to die during the chapter. But then I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know.
I am concerned that he might, but I feel like with if they manage to wake up Shigaraki, they get him out in time, and I think they're able to save him. I think.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I don't know if the League has any healers, but we don't know if the Liberation Front has healers.
I still think that they might. I think the League probably does, and that's why I talk about the resources where Horikoshi can introduce anything he needs for them from the Paranormal Liberation Front. I mean, because they have the resources, that's why they have them. So I'm assuming so, but we'll see.
We'll find out. But Pedro, to answer your question,
yes,
I think the time that Compress is getting for them is to escape.
Yep.
I don't think Shigaraki has anything left. I think he's keeping it together just to keep his body together. Like his hyper regeneration isn't even really working right now. So I think he's biding them time to escape.
I mean, he got knocked out. He been knocked out for the longest time. So I'm he lost.
Either Shigaraki
or Shigaraki took an L. Like he lost his fight.
Yeah, just be all for one that wakes up too.
I mean, I will say that they won the battle, but he absolutely lost that fight. Deku gave him the work. You know what I'm saying? He lost the fight. So I mean, but it also took everybody there to take him down. So
I still think All for One takes over and teleports them the F out of there.
Yeah. And I love how our man Hori watches our videos because he also puts the panel of Toga in this, because we asked the question last week, and where's Toga?
Where is she? Yeah.
And after he puts in that one panel of Toga still trying to come back because she's crying.
I am really glad to see that he made Compress be the one to kind of have the moment of, how do I get the League out of this? And nobody else just showing up to help them. I'm glad it was somebody that was already there, and Compress just made sense. And I think we might even cover that briefly.
We did.
Last episode. So
I thought that he might also compress Gigomakia as well to help him escape too.
So let's talk about Compress's quirk for a second. Do you think that Compress can actually compress someone like that he cares about that big? Like, I've never seen him compress anything like bigger than a boulder. But yeah, we don't know. Yeah, plus Ultra, you're right. But that's why I was like, I don't know if he could do that, because Gigamaki is just so big.
Yeah, because he put Bakugo in one of the balls, but
that's a normal sized person.
I would say there's a time limit. I think he can do it, but there would be a time limit.
I see.
Who knows?
Yeah, because he did that.
What I think.
Because if I'm correct, he did that to some type of fallen boulders or buildings when they was gonna hit the League, but then he put them in the balls. But I think it's time limit as well, to what James is saying.
I'll be interested, because I don't think his quirk's been explained.
Yeah, not to that extent.
Yeah. Because I love his quirk. I really do. I think it's cool as hell.
All he really needs is just a second. If it's for Gigamaki, just to get him out of the whole like vines and cables from.
Also could be quirk evolution too.
But then again, he won't be able to do anything either way. He's
I know that you keep mentioning quirk evolution, but I really don't think that quirk evolution is as common as you think.
I'm not saying as common or as easy to access, but more is that we don't know, like Toga, she access quirk evolution because of her high moments. We don't know if other heroes or villains.
I think that those moments are very special and pointed, and we've seen them, and that wasn't one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, Horikoshi makes sure that those moments are highlights, and that fight with Toga was like a big highlightable moment. Like, that was literally life and death. She was gonna die, and so I'm like, that's why. So those moments we're not gonna see until it's literally perilous. There's nothing else they can do. So.
There's a question about Compress. Do you think Compress might be turned into a normal? I don't think.
I hope not, because now they just made him way more interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's so much more interesting on his own. Like, just find a way to heal him and just let him be.
The one that I can see them turning into a Nomu because of their like limitless loyalty is Spinner. If something would have happened to Spinner, I could see him being a Nomu.
I would hate that.
I would too, but it would be like his oh, I'm about to die, but I still want to serve you forever type thing. I can see that happening. I doubt it, but like that, he's the only one I can see from the immediate group coming back as a Nomu.
Yeah, even though it was like he's the narrator of like some of these arcs and chapters in that sort of way, but it feels kind of weird that he's more of a follower and not.
Like I said, he's the heart. Yeah. He's literally the heart of the group.
Yeah, because technically we don't have we don't have twice no more, so we need so we still need the heart of it, which is like, damn.
Yeah. Spinner believes in his convictions, and he will not back down from them.
Exactly. He's going to support him forever. So
and that's kind of reason, like, because of Twice died, I don't think Mr. Compress is gonna die either in this arc. You want to get rid of 2 members, right there?
Yeah, 2 really good members. Like, please don't.
Yeah, it's just
like,
a really bad injury.
And
Like,
and
but I don't know.
to add what James said earlier about his impressions, when he said about how we
Night
saw
had worse.
we had Miracle, we had Eraserhead, we had Mike Master, we had Hawks, and all these characters here, and showing also Mountain Lady, Midnight, showing Endeavor, and plus Deku, like showing all these casualties and what this arc has gone through with all these heroes. It shows how much that this type of war has been going on, and it's good. But also, I really am fascinated about the Dragon Waifu people that's carrying her, those doctors. I've never seen those before.
I mean, we've seen, like, they were there when they were evacuating the hospital and stuff like that. We've seen them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they've been there.
It's been like those masks and everything. It's pretty.
Weren't they gang Orca's men or something like that?
Potentially, I'm not sure about that specifically. But, so one person I want to talk about real quick, because Horikoshi just keeps.
Is Toya?
Shoto.
Yeah.
Fight.
Yeah. Shoto is having the roughest time.
Yo, he was falling. He's like this.
He's getting his ass whooped by Toya. Toya is he can't do nothing against him, and I'm like, all right, so that means we're getting Shoto like
round 2 or round 3.
I think we're getting a Shoto arc soon, for real, because like it's gonna have to, like, basically going through what he's going through and how he's like, I have to get stronger. Like, you know, it's because that boy, he ain't had a W. He ain't had a W in a long time.
He got an L mentally and physically, like you're saying.
Exactly.
L broken by his own brother and knowing the truth about his own world against publicly about his father, and then an L by his brother. He needs
to go and find him. He needs to find out who he is. He's only ever been Endeavor's son, you know.
Yes.
So he needs to determine who he's going to be. So I think we get a hero name change from him. So okay, yeah,
that's true, because his current name is
after he figures out who he wants to be.
Like, when it's interesting that where Dabi has to change his plan because he just saw Endeavor being motivated by Deku's words, and now it's like, all right, change your plan.
Because his goal was to break his father.
Exactly, keep breaking him more. Yeah. And
so,
he called Shoto masterpiece. Like,
and he hates that.
Yeah. That's what.
Yeah, that's it.
NG wanted. But on that topic, that further proves, this chapter further proves to me what I was talking about 2 chapters ago, that Toya will not hurt his family. He is only hurting Shoto to hurt Endeavor.
I mean, but isn't that at the same time hurting his family though? You know what I'm saying?
But not hurting physically, but hurting more than mentally. Like that's
but still,
it's mental.
Physical and mental abuse. They're still abuse. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but it was just on the topic of, will he kill any of his family members? And I don't think so. The moment Endeavor passed out, the moment that he couldn't watch anymore, he stopped.
I mean, but what I'm saying though is, if he was still awake, he probably still would have killed Shadow right in front of him to hurt him.
I don't think he would have killed him.
I think he would have. I literally think he would have, man.
He literally said it in page 14. NG Todoroki isn't completely broken yet. If he passes out now, there's no point in going with this little performance.
Yeah.
Sorry, Masterpiece. That's what he says.
Exactly.
I'm a bounce.
He wants to see his son die. Yeah.
I mean,
no, it's just a performance to hurt him in the most ways possible.
Hey, man, people die in shows sometimes. So.
I think I have to agree with Ray here. He will kill him.
I really think he would have killed him if Endeavor was there to watch. If you put Toya, Endeavor, and Shoto in a room and Endeavor couldn't do nothing, Toya would murder him right in front of Endeavor just to see his face.
Toya would do
just to see his face.
Maim him to make sure he couldn't be a hero anymore.
I
deny the fact that he would kill him.
It's the same thing like Joker killed Robin just to hurt Batman. It's the same thing.
Well, no. Joker did not kill Batman. Joker gave Batman the opportunity to save him, and Batman was too late. He didn't kill him. He beat him half to death. But Joker
this is what I'm saying about this. If
Batman made it in time, Jason Todd would have been fine. But it's not the same thing.
Toya is a little bit further beyond that. He would absolutely kill him.
I think he would maim Toya and leave it up to Endeavor to fix it. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. We will see.
He's never gonna get that chance again. But I really think he would have killed him.
We don't know that.
He ain't gonna get that chance no more. Shoto ain't gonna give him the opportunity. In the future, he's gonna be prepared.
He has to be prepared. It's just like Ray. It's just like you said. He needs an arc. And what I see in the chat, Shoto's story could be related with his mom having more story as well.
I hope so.
Because maybe his mom could help him to use the ice quirk.
Yeah,
Oh,
I would.
maybe.
I would one up what Ray said. I want a Todoroki arc where we just get everything about the family, what everyone's doing, where they go from here. Like if that was something that were to
I
happen,
mean,
like,
honestly,
I
I
would be okay with
feel
that.
like we've had enough of the Todorokis.
Yeah.
It's been
We
the
have enough.
Todoroki. This arc started with the Todoroki show.
But
Yes,
Todoroki show, but not about the mom. Is what I'm saying. The mom could also help her son. Like,
I
hey,
mean, I hope so. I hope that we get her redemption as well.
I want to
for
know
her
how it
own
affects
son.
the entire family. I want to know how it affects the mom. I want to know how it affects Natsu. Everyone.
I think we get a chapter. I think we get a
Yo,
Todoroki chapter.
He already know how toxic his father's side of the family kind of is right now. Like, how's mom's family right now? How they doing? Can they teach me a thing or two? Because I know fire is not gonna be able to stop.
Right. Yeah, it's like
Oh,
so
yeah.
maybe go see my family or wherever they're located. Yeah.
yeah, because look, Shoto literally did flat fire fist, and then he literally did all his might, and then Toya literally said jerk burn. And that fire looks a lot bigger than what Shoto did.
That is something that I also love about this. You can see the difference in the flames in the art.
yeah.
bigger.
Yeah.
It's not
darker.
just that it's not just that it's bigger. It's just it looks more
darker
intense.
drawn. Yep.
It looks way more intense, and I'm like, yeah, Shoto, bro, you got a ways to go, man.
It's like
Yeah,
another thing, right? Just because Endeavor couldn't see it, if he wanted to kill his brother, why not just do it?
Because
Why
it's
not
for his
do the
dad. He wants to
performance?
kill him for his
Yeah.
dad.
He's
That's
a-
why, James.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it, man.
Kill for his dad.
He wants to
He
do
literally
what
just
his
he
I
literally
see
just
it.
wants to hurt Endeavor as much as he can. He don't care about Shoto. He just beating his ass because he literally just said, "I'm gonna stop beating your ass now because your dad can't even see it." Okay.
Exactly.
I don't want to hurt my brother anymore because the
Nah.
only person I truly want to hurt
He
is
literally
Endeavor.
said he's not broken yet. He
Ever.
wants to complete the
No.
brokenness. He wants to have him awake so
Nah.
he sees
Has
it.
he called him
wants-
brother a single time?
Didn't he?
Shoto,
Toya,
Shoto
no,
called
Toyo.
Shoto
Toya
called
has that
Toya
call.
brother.
That's okay. Yeah.
Shoto has called him brother.
Toya has been,
Brother
Toya has been
called
always
Toya.
been calling him Shoto every single time, every single way, without any remorse.
All I'm saying, man. Had he said something like little brother, I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe there's some hope, but no,
No,
bro.
but he
No,
said
don't give
masterpiece.
he don't give a shit about Totoro. He don't
He
give a shit
even
about
went to the route to call
Shoto.
masterpiece because he still believes that he's the masterpiece of Endeavor. He
Because
cares
and then
for it.
remember that, yeah, he hated Shoto because he literally cast him to the side when he came around.
Don't buy it. What you're saying makes sense. I just don't
I know,
think
and I love that though. I love
Me too.
that.
it makes
I'm just
complete
using this.
sense. But it's just that's not
But
the way
James,
that I
question this.
personally
Would you want-
Exactly, I understand that.
But
And
James,
that's
question
what I
for
love
that.
about it.
Would you want more proof and concrete to show that Toya is really far beyond more? Like, is that what you want more to prove to where you see it?
say that again.
You want more proof to know that Toya is like wants to break Endeavor, like more of the written concrete proof in a way.
No, he wants him to have that redemption of like he really doesn't want to hurt his family. He wants him to like still
Yeah.
care,
I
which
think
would be
he
interesting.
definitely-
Yeah,
I think he
far
definitely wants to
beyond.
hurt Endeavor in every way possible, and then when he's completely broken and has nothing left, then he'll kill him. But I don't think he needs to take out his anger on the rest of his family. They're as much as victims as he is. What would be the point of killing them when
cares
they're the
about
victims
himself.
just like him?
He only cares
Everything that
about
he went
himself.
through, everything that he went through, his siblings had a harder time because they
about-
were closer to being perfect and they couldn't make it. So they're just as much as the victims. What does he get out of killing his siblings when he can just make Endeavor suffer? That's
He
just
said-
what I think.
I mean, I feel like we're saying the same thing. It's just
Yes,
we want
yes.
we just wanted to happen different ways.
Yes,
you know what
yes.
I'm saying? Like Endeavor would suffer regardless.
Yes,
So-
yes.
But
He
yeah, I know what you're saying. I get it. And like and that's why I love this group because I want to see
Yes.
which one of these things happens. Because like either one's gonna be good, but like I want to see which one happens.
Exactly. Either way, it's going to be great. I just want to know which way it goes.
It could go
Dang.
any way, and it's exciting because we're literally coming to the ending of this arc from where
Yeah.
where everything's going to lead up to. We're
Mhm.
in chapter 294, so it's crazy.
And you know, I can see Horikoshi blue balling us, and we not saying anything about the Todorokis for a while,
Right?
that
Yeah.
too.
which is good though. I
We
love
have
enough.
that.
It's
have
been
enough.
290
He's got
chapters.
time. He's got time to tell the story.
He does.
And that's what I appreciate. I'm like, I don't want him to rush everything, you know? So
Well-
To answer Pedro's question, do we think Midnight is alive?
yeah. I think so. I
She's
think
beat
May's
up,
alive.
but I think she's alive.
Yeah, I think she's alive too.
Because because you see everything around her, like I'm not too sure what those things are, but it seemed like masks or from the other villains that try to come after her.
Yeah, I think she's gonna be down for a while, but
or she got captured.
Yeah, because Midnight's there and Mountain Lady.
I could have seen her getting captured. To be honest,
I feel bad for Mountain Lady because got spikes in her ass.
Yeah, she got some. She don't got Kamui wood in her ass. It's something different. Yeah, I felt bad. I saw that. I was like, not the butt cheeks. No.
I felt like damn.
I can't wait for him to make a joke about that because it's gonna be bandaged up. I can't wait.
Only Mike is just like standing and running places.
But no, I'm concerned now because Mike was last seen with the doctor. What happened there?
Yeah, why is he running?
Yeah, exactly. True. What happened?
It's true. Why is the doctor not with him in that same panel?
I am very concerned. I have concerns.
That is true.
Like, why do I feel he's gonna come out and say like he escaped? And like, oh, you son of a! You had one job.
I wouldn't be surprised either. But I'm like,
you had one job.
The issue, because them did say is that the doctor's not there. That is true in that panel, and I'm
very concerned.
I'm happy to know Gran Torino is alive. Just he's
probably be extremely now.
Yeah, because I thought he was.
I thought he was done so too. I mean,
he was dead.
I thought he was done
to the ground.
But that also that gives me another pause. It's like, did Shigaraki hold back because he realized who it was, or what? I don't know.
That is true.
I don't know. Is it?
That's a good point, dude.
Because he should have died. He should have been dead.
At that age and at that height and with that type of power to the ground,
but
he should have been dead. Yep.
But we'll have to see a little bit later on when we come back to Gran Torino if he's gonna live or he's gonna really die, because we know like you can give them a little bit of oxygen, you can maintain them for.
I mean, because same thing happened in Night Eye.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I say like we don't know
yet.
Imagine,
I don't know.
Imagine Gran Torino where when Night Eye it was Mirio there. Imagine Gran Torino is Deku and All Might there.
I think it'd be mostly All Might, but
it'd be mostly All Might, yeah.
Yeah.
Because All Might was there for Night Eye in his last moment too, and so was Deku. And yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. Questions, Toga, Shoto, Toya.
I still like. I'm ready now to like. We need more. To be honest, we need more All Might backstory at this point. Because it's also important to this, I think. So.
Yeah.
And I'm
how much like we still don't know much about All Might's past. Sorry to keep cutting you off, but yeah, we don't know a lot about All Might's past. Like we know about his heroic past, we don't know about his personal past.
That's true. But what I was gonna say is that I'm really curious to know about Mr.Compress next chapter, because I'm staring at the last panel of that double spread. He literally is missing a whole rib cage on the right side.
I told you, man, his torso.
Yeah, it's like he's literally missing the whole thing.
He grabbed a chunk of himself.
Right, it's like that whole hand. He's like just like there's like a piece right there. Like technically, most people should not be living there like that. So like, if Mr.Compress he did this just for his other friends in League of Villains to survive. So I'm curious about that. Like, what's happening?
All he needs is his hands at the moment to use his quirks. Unlike our friend Overhaul anymore.
So my assumption I just came up with, he might die because you know how most magicians do their final act, and this
it's not his final act though. It's just the curtain rises on the first and final escape.
Yeah, but you know how some magician like
I mean the title of the chapter is Final Performance.
That's what I'm saying. Final performance and magician Houdini, their final act is their final escape. So I think that's what's kind of leading up to my way.
Yeah, because the league could have healers, but it's like, will they make it in time? Because he has to be like,
because that's and they say
bleeding out, bro.
That's a fatal wound.
Yeah, literally, Sam, whole rib cage. So
I know,
this is all adrenaline keeping him alive right now.
And he's sweating bullets. He's bleeding from his mouth and everything. He's literally going on adrenaline. So overall, this was an interesting chapter. And that last panel shows Shigaraki, but it doesn't show if his eyes are waking up or anything like that. So that's pretty interesting.
5 seconds. I mean, like 5 seconds in the ball and then 5 seconds out in the and.
I mean, at that point, are we about to see what Splinter's quirk actually is?
Right? Like, dude, what do you do?
Is that something I missed? Because I still don't know his quirk. Like, if y'all in chat know, people in comments, I don't know what Splinter's quirk is. What is it?
From what I remember, like,
is he just some dude who had a blade kind of like Stayed, and that's what he was there?
from like when I was backtracking before, he was in the same team as Mr.Compress, and it was like the part of the reinforcement group. But yeah, it's definitely time to tell us what can he do.
He kind of feels like the Casey to the Ninja Turtles,
Right?
Yeah.
His quirk, it says he's a gecko. That's his quirk. What I should say about quick research is
Oh, that's
So
sucks.
great reflexes.
I would just say regenerative abilities.
Regrow his tail.
Yeah, he can regrow arms and stuff, and and probably crawl on walls and whatnot. Okay, I'm curious.
Can they escape easy?
Does that mean that
Maybe.
he could? Is Spinner the healer?
that we never found out because
How would he use it though?
Because as a
Right.
gecko, he has regenerative abilities. Can he use those on other people?
yeah, maybe
I don't know.
share
attach a
blood,
limb?
a blood transfusion, like right on battle.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Huh.
That's interesting, huh? You just imagine next week we find out like, oh shit, he healed. Oh shit, we were right. That'd be
don't know.
funny. Let's see. And it last reptile and attached to walls. Okay, we know that.
Oh, okay, yeah, there you go.
Gecko's is quirky. He can just do what a gecko can do.
Dang, man.
Cool.
Yeah, that's cool. We're about to find out then.
Yeah, we're about to find
Well,
out because
Poor
that's
Spinner. Hey, man, what's your quirk? I'm a gecko. You're in, kid.
he probably was the last person to kind of join the dodgeball team and everything. Like what's your quirk? I'm a gecko. Like, oh, you know what?
I mean, he's
Let's pick you last.
Yeah, he would be fantastic at dodgeball. Yeah,
But you know how kids in high school are judgmental just because of the way you look. You
that's
know,
true. Kids
so
are the worst. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
The support regiment from
But
Team Brown.
overall, any more thoughts? Any more theories? Speculation for this chapter?
I was very happy with the pace of this chapter, to be honest. It's like, yeah, it wasn't the big old giant, like, yeah, everything's like, we need these chapters. We really do. So I like it.
James?
Yeah, same, man. Like I really like this chapter. Can't wait to see where it goes from here.
Sam, did you flip on your thoughts about the chapter?
I'm
Did we-
still okay with this chapter. Like,
Okay.
yeah, to know more about Mr.Compress. But like, if you're gonna literally just cut him off after just give him this one chapter, then I just feel so short. That just feels
the
really
last-
I just jumped into the chat and saw my favorite comment. I'm sick of losing League of Villain members. If Compressed dies, I want Muscular, Muster, and Moonfish back. I completely agree.
I
I
agree.
completely
I
agree.
agree.
That's why it's time for Prison Break.
Abby's here said, "How will the world see Japan after disaster and embarrassment from the heroes?"
New villain
spoken
members
about
can
it.
rise.
I
and,
guess
like,
we'll
come
find
join.
out from the World Hero Association when we get that introduced.
We have spoken about that. We need the UN conference. We need that type of UN conference to know, like, in
Is it-
Japan.
I'm sure there's gonna be like a few eyebrows where it's like, hey, y'all good over there? What's happening? Why
Yeah.
did you fail on such a massive scale, essentially?
And if
Yeah.
there's a prison break, the heroes will only look worse.
Way worse.
They will look
Oh,
really
God, it'd be
worse
crazy.
because what heroes can defend right now? Most of the heroes technically are beat up right now or in the hospital. So technically,
I mean,
nobody.
as we know, there's all that's left is students.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
technically cops and.
But I
Cops
mean,
can't do much.
but we also have students from other schools
Mhm.
and other heroes and other teachers from other schools as well. So
Yeah. But Mendez, there needs to be reform. There
Yeah.
needs to be a complete reform of the hero society, how the police works with the heroes. It
just
all needs
bring
to be
the
redone.
X-Men. I mean, yeah, they do need that kind of X-Men. Man, Horikoshi could do so much.
Mhm.
He's got so much he can do.
Yeah.
I
He
don't.
already pays homage to so many things. Like he could just
Uh-huh.
keep going.
But there's so
much-
many that he hasn't touched yet. Exactly. Like, who's his X-Force? I want to know.
Hmm.
I was just thinking that right now. Once you say, I was just thinking about it right when you said that. Like, who's their expert? Like, who's the Cable? Who's the Deadpool version of them? Like, that would be.
I
wild.
mean, well, twice
That's
is
twice.
dead, bro.
Twice, yeah.
He did.
He's gone.
Who's the Cable version that comes back from the future just to fix his timeline?
I hope
God,
that doesn't
I
happen.
hope
Please
not.
don't.
I
do
don't
that.
want that to
Please
happen
don't do
either.
that. I hated that then. I'll be honest. I did not like K4.
Wow. I will ask that
yo,
question off
so
air.
Cable-
Cable's weird. No.
So, chat, do you think that they will let Hawks continue to be a hero after finding out that
That would
he
be interesting.
murdered someone? Because that's not their call. Heroes cannot be judge, jury, and executioner.
Had he
Like,
not,
all
got-
the
had he
ones
not
that-
had he not got caught in 4K, I'm sure he would have been fine. But he got caught in 4K, bro. Dobby had the clearest camera I'd ever seen.
Yo,
Like,
all for one anime.
Like if All Might killed All for One, that would be okay because he's a global threat. Like this guy has to die. But in this case, what do you think will happen? Like, how do you think they'll take this?
Right, they're gonna be like, "Hey, man, you killed the funny one. Why would you do that? No, bad."
And it's not like he can wake up right now and defend himself or have any proofs and evidence in that sort of way either.
But he does have
the
recording, so that could technically not save his hide, but he could defend his
I mean, in the public, the public won't see him as a hero.
Yeah, in the court,
and that I feel like that'll be what it is. So like, they're like, we're not gonna tell you not to be, but the public will never accept you as a hero again.
Hawks also has an agency where his agency would be disbanded as well.
Probably.
Yeah, most likely the case.
Yeah.
And so also to answer Abby's here, will he get copyright if he made a hero version of Shazam and Green Lantern? No, because if he makes a version of them, no. But if he makes the same
Lantern
name,
Corps,
called like Shazam and Green Lantern, he'll get copyright. But if he makes it like them, no. Yeah. Because you're just making the heroes very similar to what DC Comics has, but if you name them, yes. But no.
I mean, DC and Marvel have done the same thing back and forth to each other.
Deathstroke, Deadpool, guys, literally, and almost made it at the same time. Just
Spectre, Hyperion, they're all Superman.
Exactly, they're all. Everybody's just a copy of Superman if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean,
All Might, Superman.
Like,
James
Superman.
All Might, Goku. Oh, they're
way more interesting.
Way more interesting, to be honest. I mean, Hyperion is more interesting too, but we won't get into that. So
that's another conversation.
Yeah.
Anyway, last question. Let's see. Yes, Hawks will continue to be a hero, but will he not be mainstream? He will be a behind the scenes hero, like secret agent stuff.
Like what he usually do, but then again, you can't have his title as the hero anymore. You can't be in public space.
That's the start of the X-Force.
Nailed it. That's just like how Eraserhead was. People forget before Eraserhead was a teacher in UA, he was in the underground, like what Deku has said.
No, he was his own.
He was a street level hero, kind of like Iron Fist and Luke Cage is what he was.
Yeah. He was like his own agency hero kind of thing that started up, and what brought him in was because of Midnight. So.
Exactly. Yep.
All right, true. So, any more thoughts, comments on about it?
No, a good chapter.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
all right, guys. So hopefully, you guys enjoyed this live reaction / review of what we guys think of our first impressions. Your chats always brings more conversation into here. Always, if you're here watching the VOD, definitely check out the VOD and definitely comment down below your thoughts about the review and our thoughts. Like the video, subscribe if new, and definitely check out our friends here, Ray and JB. Their content as well is in the description down below for all the links. Other than that, see you in the next one.